Good morning, Rechavia Nachlaot. Thank you for joining us today on this wonderful Monday morning. I'm sorry for, first of all, that yesterday I was unable to do this lesson, and second of all, that today I'm a few minutes late. I had to do something which was really urgent, but Baruch Hashem, I'm able to be here today and to be able to share with you the special class. So thank you for being part of this. Now, we're at Sha'ar ha-Yichud ve'emunah, Perek Gimel. This is the only corner that I was able to find now to give the class from, so it looks a little scary perhaps, but I'm just in the backyard of the Chabad of Rechavia. And so we're up to Perek Gimel, page Ayin Chet at the top, which corresponds in the regular Hebrew text to page 154. So please open up if you have your regular Tanya with you. Perek Gimel, chapter 3. V'hinei, and behold, acharei hadvarim v'ha'emet ha'ela, after these words and the truth of the fact that we've talked about mainly in chapter 1, but also in chapter 2, that every single thing in the world, every single object has a spark of godliness which keeps it alive, and that's its main source of life. And if God forbid Hashem takes it away or goes back to its source, then it ceases to exist. The object ceases to exist. Kol maskil, any intellectual person, and when the Alter Rebbe says maskil, we're not just talking about a smart person, but we're talking about a person who succeeds to connect his sechel, his mind, to a spiritual source of thought and of intellect, which is a very high level. In Chassidus, in Kabbalah, maskil is a very, very high level. Kol maskil al davar, anyone that succeeds to understand a deep concept, yavin la'ashuro, he will understand properly, ech shekol nivra v'yesh, how every single creation and entity, hu be'emet nechshav la'ayin ve'efes mamash, is truly considered to be literally nothingness, nothing. L'gabei, in reference to koach hapoal, the energy which makes it existent. We talked about the koach hapoal in the middle of chapter 2, that this is the koach, this is the energy from Hashem, that Hashem brings about the possibility to be able to give energy and life force to every single object. So the object itself is almost like nothingness. It's almost like zero with regards in comparison to the actual physical object. So if, for example, we have this air conditioning, which is right next to me, and the air conditioning unit cannot exist without the godly spark, to the extent that if Hashem takes away the godly spark, then the air conditioning unit ceases to exist. So it's almost as if the air conditioning unit is not really a true existence, because it's 100% dependent on the godly spark. Now you can argue to say that, well, the air conditioning unit is also dependent on the air conditioning worker who brings it, installs it inside, and it won't work without that. That's true that it's sort of dependent. Maybe that's 10%, 30%, 50%, but it's still going to be in existence. It may not be connected, it may not work, but it's still going to be in existence. But when it comes to the unit itself, if we don't have Hashem inspiring it and investing in an energy that it should be able to exist, then it will be non-existent. It's totally 100% dependent on this kedusha, this spark of godliness. So it's in itself is really nothingness. It's all dependent on, it's all hanging by this important thread. The ruach piv, and the spirit of Hashem's mouth, shebenifal, which is that which is being accomplished, hamehaveo to tamid, which creates it all the time, umotzio, and takes it out, me'ayin mamash, from literally nothing, liyesh, to being in existence. Now, the Alter Rebbe is going to ask an obvious question. Are we seeing an illusion? When we look around and we see buildings, stones, cars, trees, if it's not really in existence, then what are we seeing? Are we seeing just an illusion? Is it not real? Let's continue inside in the text. Uma shekol nivra v'nif'al. And the fact that every creation, everything which has been created, nir elanu liyesh uma mashut, it seems to us to being a real existence. Zeu machmat. The reason is she'ein anu masigim v'ro'im beinei basar et koach Hashem. That's because we cannot grasp and we cannot see with our eyes of flesh the koach of Hashem, v'ruach piv shebenivra, and the spirit of Hashem's mouth, which is inside the creation. Aval, however, ilu nitna reshut la'ayin lir'ot, if the eye would have quote-unquote permission to see, ulahasig et ha-Yichud, and to grasp, to tune in to the life, v'ruchaniyut, and the spirituality, shebechol nivra hashofea bo, which is within every creation, which gives it life, mimotza pi Hashem, from the outcome of the mouth of Hashem, so to speak, v'ruach piv, and the spirit of Hashem's mouth, lo haya gashmiyut hanivra v'chumro umamasho nir'eh klal einenu. Listen to these penetrating words. Then the physical creation and the coarseness and the tangible aspect of the materialistic world would not be seen to our eyes at all. If we had spiritual laser vision, we would be unable to see and to tune in, to grasp Hashem's. We would be unable to we would not notice the physical object. We would only see the source for what? The source of the life force. Why? Ki hu batel bimtziut mamash. Because it's literally nullified in its entire existence. L'gabei ha-Chayut v'ha-Ruchaniyut shebo. In relation to the life and the spirituality of it. Me'achar, since shemibiladei ha-Ruchaniyut, that without the spirituality, ha'Yayin v'efes mamish, it would be literally nothing, nothingness. K'mo kodem sheshit yemei bereshit mamash, just like literally the 6 days of creation, when Hashem created the entire world ex nihilo, literally something from nothing. The haruchaniyut, and the spirituality, hashofea alav, which comes upon it, mimotza pi Hashem, from that which Hashem said, v'ruach piv, and the spirit of His mouth, hu levado hamotzio tamid mi'ayin v'efes liyesh. Hashem is the only one who can bring it out from nothingness to something, because, as we said earlier in earlier classes, that the power to be able to create something ex nihilo is only reserved for the Creator, the infinite, the totally non-limited in any way, shape, or form. Only Hashem Himself can create literally mi'ayin liyesh. Umehaveoto, and Hashem creates it. In other words, not only creates it originally, but continues to bring it into existence. Imken, if so. Efes bilado be'emet. Here's the punchline. Through these three words. Efes bilado be'emet. This is a fascinating. We say, Ein od milvado. There's nothing besides for Hashem. Ein od. There's nothing else. Nothing in the world. It sounds like nice words, but it's hard really to understand that. But here, in these words, the Alter Rebbe pretty much explains that. Efes bilado be'emet. There is nothing else in the world besides for Hashem. Hashem is the only one who creates every single object from nothing to something, from nothingness to something, to existence. And if it's only a Kadosh Baruch Hu that not only created it originally from nothing, but continues to create it from scratch, HaMechadesh b'tuvo b'chol yom tamid, every single day, every single hour, every single minute. If so, there is nothing in the world besides for Hashem. There's only Hashem and everything that He creates. But it's all 100% totally dependent on Hashem. If one is a tzaddik, if someone is a tzaddik, which the tzaddik gives us, which the tzaddik has laser vision and is able to penetrate every single object, then the tzaddik sees this. This is not news for the tzaddik, because the tzaddik is able to see it on a regular basis. It's holy eyes. People who talk about the Rebbe, even secular people, everybody talks about the Rebbe's eyes, penetrating eyes. We're talking about not only his physical, beautiful blue eyes, as one person put it, or several people. I'm talking about spiritual eyes that even a simple person can feel. I remember standing in front of the Rebbe, and you can feel how the Rebbe looks at you and totally looks right through you. It's not a threatening type of look. It's an embracing type of look. I see right through you. I see your potential. I see what you can accomplish. So stand up and make it happen. There's an amazing story of the Alter Rebbe. There was it's called the Great Wedding, Chatuna Gdola, that took place between, I believe it was the grandson of the Alter Rebbe and the granddaughter of Rabbi Yitzchak of Berdichev. Can you only imagine the tens of thousands Chassidim of each came to the Great Wedding? And it was very, very hard to move. Everyone was so excited. It was a very, very elated moment. And at one point, I believe it was right before the chuppah, the Alter Rebbe was standing with Rabbi Yitzchak, and they were working out the final details of the wedding. And then they were about to go, but they almost couldn't get through the doorway, because there were so many people in the room that the two great tzaddikim couldn't go. So one of them said to the other, I'm not sure which one it was, I can only guess, but I don't want to guess. When it comes to a story, I want to be able to tell it as exact as possible. One of them said to the other, let's just walk through the wall. Let's just walk through right here. They were standing next to the wall. They couldn't get to the doorway. This was packed, jam-packed with Chassidim. So the other one said, now is not the right time. In other words, now is not the opportunity to show off that we can go right through the wall. What does that mean, to go right through the wall? How do you walk through a wall of bricks or sheetrock or whatever it is? The answer is what we just learned now, the Alter Rebbe wrote in the Tanya. If you're a regular person such as myself, then you see a wall. We don't see the godly spark. I can't talk for you. I talk for myself. I don't see the godly spark within the wall. So therefore, the wall holds me back from walking through. In order for me to get from point A to point B, I need to find an opening, either preferably a door or a doorway, or even if it's a window, at least there's an opening so I can get through. But a tzaddik doesn't see the wall, the bricks, as being an obstacle to going through. Because the true entity of the brick is not the brick. The true entity of the brick is exclusively the Dvar Hashem, the word of Hashem, that keeps it, that sustains it. And so there shouldn't be a problem to walk right through, because the tzaddik wants to walk through. So everyone makes way for the tzaddik to go through, including the bricks, including the wall. So in that case, there would not be any anything to be ma'akev, anything to withhold the tzaddik from doing what he wants to do. But that for a regular person it really is an obstacle, then it's an obstacle. And this is why the Talmud tells us, I believe it was about Rabbi Hanina, that he needed to learn Torah. And it was at night, he didn't have candle, he just had vinegar. So he said, Hu sha'amar l'shemen sheyadlik, hu yomer l'choymetz sheyadlik. He, capital H, who said that oil should give light, he will say that vinegar should give light. What do you mean? The nature of vinegar is not to give light. It probably extinguishes light. But if you're a tzaddik and you realize that it's not the nature of the oil which gives light, it's the Dvar Hashem, it's the word of the Hashem within the oil that gives light. So the tzaddik can say, I don't have oil now. So Hashem, please just make the Dvar Hashem, the word of Hashem, your word, within the vinegar that should give light. And that's exactly what happened. He was able to light his candle from the vinegar. So I know it's hard for us to understand these concepts. It's hard for us to come to terms with them, but it doesn't change the fact. In fact, the contrary is the truth. The more we connect ourselves to a tzaddik, the more it becomes a magnetic force. I can't promise that we're going to be able to walk through walls or to light a candle in a little cup of vinegar, but there's no question that we will change at least a little bit. We will develop a sensitivity, a spiritual sensitivity for the way that we view ourselves and the way we view the world. That the world is a godly world. What we see is true, but it's not the real truth, as we're going to explain later on in this chapter. It's true, but it's not the ultimate truth. The ultimate truth is, the deepest truth is, that because it's this physical object, the materialistic object is 100% dependent on the Dvar Hashem, the word of Hashem. Therefore, it's not really what it seems to be at first glance. Rather, it's much, much deeper than that. I think we have a lot of food for thought. Bezrat Hashem will continue to discuss this point over the next couple of days. And I want to remind you that tomorrow morning, of course, 9:30, Bezrat Hashem. Tomorrow evening, we're continuing our great course, Seriously Happy, 7:30 on Zoom and Facebook. And an important announcement, today we're starting our $10,000 raffle. I highly encourage you to participate in the raffle. It's on our Facebook page. You can call the office. It's also on our website, jerusalemchabad.org/raffle. It's $100 a ticket, 360 shekels per ticket. I'd really, really appreciate if everybody can buy one or more tickets. It's always a great fundraiser for Chabad, especially at this time when we have really, really stepped up to the challenge of becoming a really vital organization right here in the community over the past few challenging months. And please spread the word. Send the message that we're going to send out soon, the email, the WhatsApp message, the Facebook message to all of your friends. Encourage them to buy a few tickets in the raffle. And I really, really appreciate it. It'll be a great mitzvah. Over the next couple of days, we're going to be fundraising a lot for this raffle. Thank you so much. All the best. And shalom, shalom. Be well.